When you are even mildly dehydrated, people often report feeling more tired, less alert. Having the water super close eliminates all that friction, makes it super easy for you to just drink when your body naturally feels like it wants to drink. The principle is about making the right decision easier than the wrong one. Let's give our bodies the easiest way to just do its natural thing, and that's by having water nearby. I believe in you. We can do this. Welcome to the Willpower Podcast. If you're looking for some elaborate system to unlock superhuman levels of willpower, today's episode probably isn't for you, or it at least isn't going to be what you expected. The habit or the action that we're talking about today is almost stupidly simple. We're talking about water. Most people think drinking more water requires remembering, tracking ounces, forcing themselves to chug a bottle every few hours. We're not going to do any of that. This week, we're going to make drinking water easy without enforcing any drinking. So let's break down this week's action. Super simple. Leave a water bottle out wherever you spend most of your time during the day. So if you go into work, bring the water bottle to work. Put it somewhere visible. If you're driving most of the day, put it in your car. If you work from home, super easy for you. Just put it wherever you are working. And here's the deal. The rule has nothing to action. The behavior has nothing to do with actually drinking water. We're not even worried about that at this point. The only task is to have it in sight at all times, or at least, when you're in your main place, have it in sight. If you feel like drinking, great. It'll be right there. If you want to fill it up when it's empty, great. That's awesome. But that's not part of the action. The actual habit itself that we're building is just put it somewhere visible. So let's talk about why it works. This stupidly simple, just put it out, sounds obvious. It sounds dumb. It sounds like it's not even worth talking about. It's actually like 90% of the battle when it comes to being hydrated and drinking enough water. And we never have to do the tracking. We don't have to force ourselves to drink water. We don't have to do any of that stuff that comes with when we generally think about I need to drink a gallon of water every day. I'm going to have to remember it and set alarms and fucking drink till my stomach feels super full. There are two reasons why this actually works. First of all, having the water bottle directly in your line of sight serves as a reminder of your commitment to hydration and your commitment to building yourself into the person you want to be, building the willpower that you want. Just that overall identity of someone who is fucking being healthy, keeping their biology in check, and doing it so that they can live the life they want. That's what this is a reminder of. Hey, remember me? I'm the water bottle you put out. You care about hydration. Here's a reminder. It's just a constant reminder that's coming in, every time you glance over, you're like, oh yeah, shit, that's me. That's what I am. So that's huge. If you were to just spend, you were just to listen to this podcast and then go about your day, go about your life, you would probably forget. If you're not used to this, if you're not used to, this way of thinking and seeing yourself as something that could be, seeing yourself for who you really could be, you're going to go about your day and fall back into your regular routines, your regular patterns. You forget everything. Put the water bottle out, boom, reminder. Reminder every time you look over at it. That's the first reason. The second reason, it makes it fucking super easy to just drink water. Takes away all the friction of drinking water. So I want you to imagine every time you feel thirsty throughout your day, even just like the inkling, just need a little something. Every time you felt that, you just drank water. Imagine it. Think about the amount of water you would drink. You would probably drink about the amount that you should be drinking, okay? Because your body has the ability to kind of gauge its levels and figure out how much water you need. So if every time you felt thirsty, you drank water, you would probably drink the correct amount of water that your biology requires. Now, what really happens? You feel thirsty, you feel that little I could use a little bit of water. You don't have water nearby. You keep doing whatever you're doing. Now, 10 minutes later, you are out. For me, I'm in the kitchen, or maybe you're at the office and you're walking by the drinking fountain or whatever. You're not as thirsty. The feeling's kind of passed, or it's subsided a bit. You don't feel as thirsty. And so there isn't as much of a pull there. Plus you have to take the action of for me, it'd be getting a glass, filling it up, drinking it, cleaning the glass. Like, what the fuck? This is way too much. There's too many actions for this like little feeling of barely thirst that I'm having that I'm just going to probably ignore it because of that. So having the water super close eliminates all that friction, makes it super easy for you to just drink when your body naturally feels like it wants to drink without giving it this huge mountain that it has to get over just to have water. So that's why it helps with hydration. Those are the two things. Second, or not second, but next, we have why this overall commitment to hydration ties into willpower. We focus a lot about sleep so far up to now, and sleep is incredibly important for willpower. Hydration is going to be something similar. It probably doesn't sound like it's that important, right? Like, okay, hydration, willpower, these are separate things. Willpower is about like your thinking, discipline. Why would I drink water for that? Remember, it's not just a personality trait. Willpower is not. There are influences in the brain. There are things that, neural pathways we can build to make ourselves stronger, more capable of making good decisions. But a huge component of it is biology. So looking into this, when you are even mildly dehydrated, people often report feeling more tired, less alert, and having a harder time concentrating. None of those on their own necessarily make worse decisions, but they put you in a worse position to make good decisions. They are going to make you feel more like it requires more effort to make challenging decisions. If you feel tired and low energy and like kind of brain foggy, it's going to be a lot harder for you to spend the focused time on the project that you're working on. When yesterday, when you were like fully alert, super clear, it just felt natural. It felt like, man, I want to work on this thing. Everything just kind of feels harder. So it doesn't necessarily stop you, but it's going to make things harder, and it might slow you down as those actions pile up, because the more effortful actions that add on top of each other, the more it's just going to weigh us down and wear us out. When your brain and body are running well, making these good decisions requires less effort. They come more naturally. That's why water plays a role. Water plays a huge role in your biology, in the functioning of your body, the functioning of how you feel. Feeling good ties into being hydrated. It's not like a direct, but you will notice it. If you are dehydrated, you will begin to feel foggy, tired. I have had this happen many times. So every small improvement to how your body functions is going to make these disciplined choices, these disciplined decisions, much easier to continue to make and to continue to build on top of each other. That's why, this podcast, we are constantly just adding on little improvements week by week. That is why this one, where we are just putting our water bottle out in visible sight, just put it in front of me, make sure I can see it. That's why that's going to make such a big difference. That's just another piece of the biological pyramid that we're adding on there. Let me talk about my experience with water. So again, there are kind of two levels to this. There's one level, which is like the willpower action of sticking with the routine of drinking water. The other one is the effect of water itself. So I have 100% noticed the effects of dehydration in my life. There are regular periods, even this morning, I have had a coffee and I have had barely any water. And so that's one of the reasons I wanted to do this one this week is I feel like I would like to be more hydrated. What typically that looks like for me is I hit a slump late in the day where my energy just drops. I'll have great energy in the morning. Usually I'll like drink a good amount of water when I wake up. So I feel like I'm kind of riding that, but then I might forget for some time throughout the day, miss out on the hydration. By the end of the day, I am much more dehydrated, and I notice it in my brain, in my alertness, in my mind, just my overall oomph is gone. My ability to just fucking continue to want to do stuff. So I noticed that 100%. Now, in the past, what has worked for me, there have been periods where I have said I am drinking a gallon of water every single day. And the times where that has worked for me, or let's say the times where I have actually followed through with that, have happened when I had a water bottle on my desk, something right nearby that I can easily fill up. And when I had a water filter, like a 2-gallon thingy where I would, fill up my water bottle. And that was in my room. So it was like right nearby. I could drink water and easily get more whenever I needed it. Those were the two things that helped me the most. However, when I would set this goal of hitting a gallon every day and not have a water bottle nearby, what would end up happening is I would hit a time of day where I would go, oh shit, I'm like 60 ounces behind and it's 9 p.m. I got to get on this. And I would have to literally like chug like bottles of water, just like repeatedly, just because I was on the disciplined pattern of drinking every day. So I was like, this is a habit. I'm sticking with this. But it wasn't a regular pattern throughout the day because I didn't have something like this where I would keep the water nearby and accessible at all times. So I had one without the other. I had the identity, but I didn't have the low friction. And so then I would end up having to chug a shit ton of water late in the day. That leads to all of its own problems. You know, I would wake up at like 3 a.m. every night having to pee, like really bad, you know, where you are in a dream and you think you have to pee and then you wake up and you're like, oh, no, this is real. I actually have to pee. And you go pee. And that's not good for sleep. Completely breaks whatever sleep cycle you were in. Not great. The other thing, I had the identity piece. I was like, I drink water every day. I drink a gallon of water every day. Hell yeah. But then I would stack up the amount of willpower that it required to hit my goal because I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't make it easy. And then at the end of the day, I would have to do this like monumental effort just to get to my goal where I would have to chug a bunch of water. That would just wear out my identity of doing this thing because the more I would have to do it in a hard way, the less subconsciously I enjoyed doing it. And the more I wanted to stop. And so my suspicion is that that's one of the reasons I didn't stick with it. I haven't stuck with it up to this point. Like, it's not like every day now I'm drinking a gallon of water. This was like a year ago and then like a month ago. And I didn't stick through with that. Even if there were months where I did do it, it didn't stick because clearly I'm not doing it right now. So again, my suspicion is putting this insane amount of friction where I have to chug bottles of water at the end of the day just to hit my goal probably played a role in my subconscious ability to adopt this as a full-on lifestyle change. It was more of a temporary, weeks or months long thing that I added into my routine. So let's tie this back into the purpose of the show. Hydration is great. Yes, we talked about that. But there are also willpower principles behind this little action of just leaving the water bottle out. As we've kind of gone over, the principle is about making the right decision easier than the wrong one. As easy as possible, as much as we can weigh it. We have a scale, right? One of them is make this decision. One of them is make that decision. We are going to do everything in our power to just put a finger on the scale, put a rock on the scale, like really just fucking push down on that one side of the scale. That is the quote unquote right decision, the one that we want to make. We're going to do everything we can to make that one easier. Now, if you've been following along, basically every episode of this podcast so far has been a way or has been a method to slightly reduce the amount of willpower that you need in your life. And there's an interesting idea here, which is when you need less willpower, you actually build more with a caveat, which you need to be making the right decision still, quote unquote, right. Right, wrong. This isn't like a moral thing, but when I say right, I just mean the decision that you want to make, the decision that you genuinely want to make, not just in the moment, but from a higher level. From a day ago, is this the decision you want to make? So when we are able to repeatedly make the right decision, we build neural pathways, right? We build the systems in our brain, the circuitry that makes that decision like hard-coded in. And so when we do this with low willpower situations without needing this like strong discipline, grit, we actually build up our ability to make the decision in harder environments. So think of it this way. If you remove sweets from your house, you do not eat sweets ever. And that's kind of just, you get used to it. You're just, I don't really eat sweets. I don't think about them. I don't crave them. And then you go to a friend's house and they've got cookies, cake. They've got like all types of donuts and shit. Like, it's just a madhouse in there and everyone's eating them. This is like the worst nightmare for someone who has a hard problem with sweets. But guess what? You have gotten used to not eating sweets. This is just a normal part of your life, is just that you don't eat sweets. It's not even a thought half the time. And so when you're at your friend's house, depending on where you're at, if you are someone who's like, I could just do a little bit, you can just have a little bit, but your brain is not used to craving sweets. And so there isn't this built-in like, I'm going to eat all these sweets because they're all around. If you're someone who just says no to sweets, which is where I'm at right now, I don't have sweets around me. And when I'm out and someone offers me, I don't need to have it. I don't care at all. Because I have built up the neural circuitry by not being around sweets, I am much stronger in the situation when sweets are offered. It's much easier to just not even entertain the idea, if that makes sense. The decision gets made much quicker versus if I got sweets at home, I might be breaking a little bit, having some here and there. Then when I'm out, there's this like big debate that happens in my head, which is, do I do it or do I not? Do I do it or do I not? The neural circuitry isn't as clear. So that's why less willpower needed. Like the training grounds are the place with less willpower. And that actually counterintuitively builds us into the person with more willpower. So to kind of go back over the past few weeks, we remove the temptation of having your phone in the bedroom, right? No longer do you want to scroll. Do you want to be up late on your phone? Do you want to check it in the morning? Because the temptation isn't there. It's much easier. Getting morning sunlight made waking up tomorrow easier. It made the right decision, like getting good sleep, waking up easier. Eating before bed made sleep happen easier. Now the water within reach makes hydration easier. That's what we're doing here. Again, the point isn't, I need to drink more water and force it and make it happen because it's good for me. The point is, hey, let's just make the thing that our bodies naturally want. Like our bodies fucking want water. They're built mostly out of water. Let's give our bodies the easiest way to just do its natural thing. And that's by having water nearby. So I've already explained it, but today's challenge is super clear. It's almost impossible to fail if you just decide to do it. There's no difficulty. There's nothing hard about this. Get your water bottle, fill it, put it where you're going to be. That's it. No rules around drinking it. You don't have to worry about, I need to fill it up again. None of those are part of this challenge. For the 24-hour challenge, the most important part is that you do this starting either today or tomorrow. And if it's morning when you're listening to this, it starts today. Do it as soon as you hear this. Get the water bottle, put it in sight. If it's late in the day for you, day's already gone by, tomorrow's your day. I want you to commit to this right now. Say out loud or whisper to yourself, I am going to do this. I am going to do this. And in saying that, you are committing. In the next 24 hours, you are going to do this action. You are going to put the water bottle in plain sight for the entire day. We're not going to force anything. There's no need for drinking it. You drink it if you want. If it's there, you're like, I want some fucking water. You don't have to. Filling it up is up to you. If you run out of water and you feel thirsty and want more, go fill it up. But that's up to you. The main thing is that it's just right there in front of you. The next 24 hours are a must. Like you need to commit to that because that's the most important part. Okay? Do it now. Do it in the next 24 hours. A reminder, success on the show means 5 out of 7 days. So we always prioritize the first day. And then after that, every week, we're trying to hit at least 5 days. So 5 out of the next 7 days, water in front of you, wherever you are spending the majority of your time. Let's go, guys. This is a super easy one. I believe in you. We can do this. So let's review now. I kind of mentioned them, but let's clearly go through the monthly habit stack. This is our 4th episode in this new series. So that means we're at the 4 actions, which is awesome. We have a month full. And also it means if you've been following along since the beginning that you now have been doing one for, I guess it would be 3 weeks at this point, but almost an entire month. So we'll review. Today's habit, water bottle in sight. The one place that you spend the most of your time, water bottle in sight. Next action, charge the phone outside of the bedroom at night, not in the bedroom. Next one, 10 minutes of sunlight within 1 hour of waking. Easy enough. Next one, stop taking in calories 3 hours before bedtime. So we have a stack of 4 habits. If you have started the previous 3 and are doing them on a consistent basis, I can almost guarantee that your willpower is higher than when you started. I follow along with these. I have been sticking with them. Some of them I don't do every single day, but I do make sure to hit my 5 out of 7. And I've noticed a difference. I feel a lot more on top of my shit. I feel a lot more capable. And I think a big part is because of these actions. We're not stopping here. We're going to keep building. These are only 4 small actions, but I think at this point, you will probably have noticed some subtle changes if you've been following along. Now, as a reminder, I want to give kind of my suggestion for how you actually follow along with this show. Because we're adding on habits every week. You might jump on at a certain week and be uncertain about adding on old ones, what to do there. So here's my advice. Start with one. So if you're listening to an episode, start with the one that we're talking about this week. I try to make these atomic in the sense that they are self-contained. It doesn't require that you do something else from last week to do the one from this week. If you are wanting to catch up, like add on previous habits, that is excellent. Listen to old episodes. Awesome. Understand why we're doing it. Learn the actions from previous ones. That is awesome. And I applaud the effort and the desire to even continue to add on more than just one. However, give yourself at least 3 days before adding on new habits. So don't go like, oh, I'm going to do this, this, and this, and this all starting today. Don't do that. Start with one, wait 3 days, add another, wait 3 days, add another. Next, give each habit at least a month before deciding if you're going to keep it or rule it out. Treat that first month as I'm just going to see what happens. I'm going to see if I like this. I'm going to see if it makes me feel better. Then I'll decide. This month does a few key things. First of all, it limits the commitment in your brain. So when we're doing something that's new, it can be scary, like subconsciously scary. You might not realize it, but there's a part of you that's going to fight against certain actions. It's going to be like, no, we don't do that. I don't want to do that. And a big component of that is because the action is endless. If you come into this like, oh, I'm going to have to do this for the rest of my life, your fucking inner child, subconscious, whatever you want to call it, is like, what the fuck? I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. I don't even know if I like this. This seems scary and hard. Confine it to a month. Just say, hey, I'm just doing this for a month. We're going to see if I want to do it. If I want to keep doing it, then I'll do it. That's going to really ease that tension in yourself around doing it and doing it when it might be more challenging on certain days than others. The other thing is it gives you a point to decide if you want to stop doing it. Some of these habits might not be for you for whatever reason. There's just, hey, this one doesn't work for me. It doesn't seem to help me. Do it for a month, and then you'll have a good understanding of if it works for you or not. You can eliminate it at that point if you want. The app I built, the Grooves app, actually helps you do this really clearly because it gives you clear rundowns of here's what happens when you do your habit versus when you don't do it. Here's the effect on your subjectively reported well-being. That can help you make that decision. If you go, okay, this habit, I haven't been feeling great, and also I'm seeing it decreases my energy when I do it, I think I'm going to just pass on this one. I think I'm going to let this one go. The only note here, again, give yourself a full month of doing it before you decide. Finally, my last piece of advice is to continue to track these habits as you do them. I think that's super important. You can use the app I mentioned that I built, the Grooves app, or you can use any other habit tracking app. There's plenty of them. There's free ones, or they're honestly really cheap too. The Grooves app is completely free. Most other apps are, if you just get a base pure habit tracker, they're going to be pretty cheap. Or go with paper and pencil. Just write down and check off every day what you did and what you didn't do. Give yourself room to fail. You don't need to do it every single day. Remember, 5 out of 7 is our goal. But tracking is super important. We can't improve what we do not understand. Also, sometimes our brain plays tricks on us. You might be like, oh, I've been doing this habit for a month and I don't notice anything. But if you tracked, you would see, oh, I only did it 5 days this month. I'm just thinking optimistically into the past. Oh yeah, I did it for a month. It's like, no, you didn't. You fucking liar, track it. So track your habits. That's my last piece of advice. Okay, so that's how you follow along. Now, next week, I want to give you guys a little taste. We're going to use one object in the bedroom to quietly replace screen time with no effort involved. It's another one of those habits that's so simple, you'll probably wonder how it could even possibly matter. Now, these habits build up, add on the action from this week, come back for the one next week. If you know anyone who's looking to build their willpower, add on to their ability to make decisions, to follow through on their plans, on their actions, their decisions, share this podcast with them. Share the love, get it out, especially if it's working for you. If you've been following along, it's a lot more fun to follow along with other people. I would also greatly love if you left a comment. It means the world to me to know that anyone listens. And so if you leave a comment, I will 100% read it and I will respond. And with that, we are done for today. That is the week. Follow through on your actions. You guys got this. Bye, everybody.